We Should Write. Welcome to another episode of We Should Write, a show about the healing power of writing. I say it every time, but this is my favorite episode already. We're joined today with one of my, I'm going to say dear friends, but like newer dear friends, but instant dear friends, which is a whole thing we're actually going to dive into because that is very powerful when you connect through words and through sharing. Jennifer Moorman is joining us today. Welcome, friend.
Thank you for having me. I've been so excited about this.
I'm so excited you're here. We've been talking about it for a very long time. Yeah. I want to give the quick hits first so everybody knows how wonderful you are. Pretend this says We Should Write because We Should Write journals are coming soon. Jennifer Moorman, she's a Nashville-based, which is how I found her, USA Today bestselling author of multiple books, including, of course, The Vanishing of Josephine Reynolds, Magic All Around. Her new book, newest, The Charmed Library, which is so magical and takes me to space in the best way. And actually, that book, Publishers Weekly said of it, it's an exquisite tale where words literally come to life. Thanks, guys. Shout out. She's a former senior editor at HarperCollins, where she helped mentor other authors like herself, which is so interesting that she's seen both sides of publishing. She's a double major in the recording industry and English. She's toured professionally with the band as a singer, and maybe might be coming back around to that.
Just maybe.
We're going to see. She's also a writer, guys, for the Strawberry Shortcake series. All my childhood dreams are coming true with that. She's the co-host of the One Happy Thing podcast, which I've gotten to be a guest on. And she lives in a magic house, which is actually the reason why we're sitting here today.
Yes.
Welcome today.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
Magical friend. So I bring up the magic house because a while back, I came across you online and saw that you said I think on your Instagram or somewhere you said, I live in a magic house. And that's what I saw. And I just kind of stalked you and was like, yeah. I do too. Can we be friends?
Yes, Insta friends.
Yeah. And here we are.
Because you live in a magic house.
I do live in a magic house.
This is why we're connected. We both have magic houses.
And if you could pan around, which the guys can't do right now, but you would see that we have a sparkly floor.
It's so magical.
In a reflective ceiling, and we're in the woods, and we'll add some clips to that. Okay, so Jennifer Moorman, fabulous writer, human, singer. I always love to start the show, first of all, with a deep breath.
Okay.
Because
we're taking it together?
We're going to do it together.
Okay.
Also, Seamus, Zach, everybody watching, we breathe together wherever you are right now. It's one of the easiest things to do, and we always forget to do it on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Beautiful. Just settles you right down.
Right? Yeah. Okay, I'll chill out now. And then I want to start by asking you, in this time of life, and also sitting in this seat, in this chair right now, what are you grateful for?
Oh my goodness. Can I say everything?
You can.
Joy, love, kindness, creativity. You. Really, I'm very intentional about looking for what I'm grateful for all the time, anywhere and everything. Not every situation feels good, but I know that there's something in there that is for me, always for me. So I can't always feel grateful in the middle of a storm, but I almost can. And certainly when it's gone, I always am. I'm like, well, I know why that happened. I know this was for me. But I love starting my day with a gratitude walk. I walk through the bottom floor of my house very slowly, so I'm not going to walk into anything, and just say out loud the things that I'm grateful for.
You do that every morning?
Yeah, I do.
So walk me through, what did that sound like this morning?
It's all kinds of stuff. I mean, it's simple stuff that's like I'm grateful for my family. I will name my parents, my brothers, my sister, and I'll say individually, I'm thankful for my brother Rusty, I'm thankful for my brother Jonathan, I'm thankful for my sister Alex. And it all the way to I'm thankful for the Charmed Library. I'm thankful for an amazing book tour. And I will also say I'm thankful for things that have yet to happen in the physical world.
Okay, I love this.
Like, I'm thankful that my trip to Hawaii was amazing.
I'm thankful you took me with you.
Exactly.
Thanks.
I'm thankful you were there with me and we could walk on the beach. And just saying that out loud, it just, anytime you move your body and you talk, you remember things easier. That's a scientific fact. So if you were studying for a test and you walked around your room saying whatever you were trying to remember, your body actually helps you remember it easier
Okay.
and better. And so saying you're grateful and you're walking and you're moving your body, it's actually stirring all the energy in your body. And it just resonates more. It's more impactful. And it can, just to say, raise your energy level, or I like to say raise your vibration.
Raise your
just
vibe.
Yeah, exactly. It makes you feel better.
So are you, because I have a girlfriend of mine, we do this thing as well where we'll have a whole like long banter about it and say, actually we use Hawaii, so it's funny you said that. We'll be like, oh my gosh, remember when we sang and
I know what
spoke
you're about to
together?
say. I love it.
Remember when? And we
Yes.
play the whole remember when we
Yes.
did of something that hasn't happened, because
Yes.
it's about the feeling of that, whether it's happened or not.
Yeah, it's just the emotion. You know, I love scientific studies because I talk about a lot of metaphysical things, and I love to bring it back to science for the people that are kind of uncomfortable with metaphysical talk. They're like, okay, I can't see it, it's not real. But scientifically, they did a test on a group of people for a couple of weeks, and they had them think about playing certain notes on the piano over and over again. So like a song, let's say Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. I can't remember exactly what the song was. Their brains light up exactly the same as when they sat down at the piano and actually played the notes. So your brain can't tell the difference between it's happening in reality, as in physical reality, or it's not, because I'm thinking of it. So you're doing this banter. I'm excited, like, I cannot believe how fun it was to walk with you on the beach in Hawaii. And then we
best
stopped
day.
and ate fresh pineapple.
Yes.
My brain doesn't know that I'm not doing it with you right this second because I feel like it's happening. So that's why those things are so incredible.
Wow. Okay, that's different. She and I have been doing this, and sort of jokingly, sort of not, but we believe in it wholeheartedly. But I haven't heard it, thank you for putting the scientific spin, because I haven't heard it put in a way where the brain doesn't know the difference.
Doesn't.
And that's...
It lights
That's
up.
the-
It lights
okay.
up just like you're doing it. So imagine that you're doing something in the opposite. You're sitting here thinking about how worried you are, how stressed you are, how this terrible thing is going to happen. Your brain thinks it's happening. You're putting your body into a state of distress automatically, even though you're not in that situation. So why not take that and flip the script on that, and put your body in a state of gratefulness or happiness or love. It's literally all it takes. You're thinking of it, you're talking about it. I'm, moving through my house, talking about things I'm grateful for, whether they've happened already, whether they're happening right now, whether they're happening in the future. And the truth is, it doesn't matter if that thing in the future never happens, because right now I feel like it is and I'm happy.
Right.
So
right.
it doesn't actually matter if I get there in the physical world.
It's the feeling.
It's the feeling that you have that makes it feel good. I mean, that's what we're looking for, is the feeling and the emotion. Sometimes when things actually come through, it doesn't feel as exciting as all that lead up to
right.
it.
We get it. And because
you've
when we get
gotten
the
it,
thing,
yeah,
and then we're like, now
then
what?
you're like,
What's next?
where's the next mountaintop? I'm heading right there right now. We don't even always let it land, the great thing when it happens.
We're so powerful. We're so powerful. And you know that. And it's what I love. So this show, I say, is about the healing power of writing. Mm-hmm. I feel like you, knowing your writing and your work and your soul as a person now, I feel like you are all about the healing power of wonder.
Yeah.
Does that resonate?
Yeah.
Wonder and magic is so important to you. But you just showed us that you can back it up too. You're not just wandering around Disneyland all the time, although you
Which
do love
I
to do that. You don't do that. So talk to me about how you are able, two things, how wonder kind of saves you every day, mm-hmm. and how you're able to ground that as well here, because we do have to live in this reality sometimes, mm-hmm. unfortunately.
We have to encounter other people's version of reality every day, but it doesn't have to be mine. So living in wonder and living in magic really just starts with me and what I'm looking for every day. If I get up in the morning, I mean, it's really my own attitude. Not every day is stellar. I mean, clearly I have faceplant days, like everybody does. I mean, that's very normal because I'm in this human experience, and things happen externally. But it's very easy for me to feel wonder and magic because I'm looking for it and I know it's there. And I do believe that you find what you're looking for, whatever that is. And I'm not looking for garbage. I'm not looking for things that make me feel bad. I'm not looking for scary stuff. I'm also not looking to entangle myself in your perception of what the world is.
Yeah.
My perception is always going to be my own. I don't need anybody else's, but I also can be very, I keep saying intentional, but I am about keeping the space around myself. I'm not in a bubble.
Right.
I'm not naive. I'm aware of things. I can witness things happening around me, but I don't have to entangle with any of them. And that makes it easier for me to stay in my own space and in my own energy. And I love looking for beautiful things everywhere.
I love this. And you are you've lived a lot of life. You got around, girls got around.
Been around.
But you've done and seen a lot. So I want to talk about the band thing when you had that moment. But between growing up in Georgia, living here a long time, your double major in school, you toured with the band, and then being on the publishing side at HarperCollins, and now really being your own artist, back to being an artist again as a writer. Mm-hmm. That being said, I want to talk about all of this, but how authenticity is a through line through it all. Mm-hmm. Because we were talking in the kitchen just a little bit ago, and I love this. Authenticity and consistency have been words that are kind of spinning for me. Before we go back to the band piece, authenticity for you in writing, how do you balance that? How do you balance authenticity when you're talking about magic and wonder and being in the charmed library that comes to life and these characters come to life, which isn't real, although you and I believe it is. Could be. You and I believe it is. Mm-hmm. But do you know what I mean? How is that? How do you balance that? So I don't want to say so you're taken seriously in the real world.
No, but I understand. I understand what you're saying, because whimsy can be misconstrued as silliness.
Right.
And it's not. But also, what I write, my books, are very much grounded in real people, real situations, real things that happen to all of us. Losing a job, losing a parent, having a best friend, not having a best friend, going through a breakup. All these things that people experience every day, all over the world. And the story has the magical element, but that's not what's driving the story. That's not the plot. The plot is the characters and what they're experiencing. And so they're very relatable. You can read a story about a library that has magical elements to it, but most of us have been in a library. We've had experiences that the main character has, and we can see ourselves in the characters that I write about. Mm-hmm. And the magical aspect is, to me, just all the glitter and the sparkle that I see in the world on top of the regular world. So it's easy to be grounded in it. And, I use the story and I joke about it, but my mama does not like fantasy books, but she loves my books. And I know she's my mama, but she feels like they're real, even though there's a magical element to all of them. But that's the truth of it, is the whole story. There's so much about it that it doesn't matter if this library is magical or not. I could have taken the magic out, and what the characters are experiencing are very real life.
Right.
But why would I ever take the magic out? Why would I ever do that?
So you start from a real place, real life lived experiences, and then you add the sparkle, because back to our original point, why, if you can add sparkle or trash, which one do you want to add?
I'm not putting trash in there.
So back to through authenticity, back to singing. I love what you were talking about in the kitchen earlier. We were talking about how through the music industry and today, it really is in some ways easier, in other ways harder to have a career, because not a lot of people are relying on record labels or even publishing companies sometimes. A lot of people are doing it independently because of social media and streaming. We have the power to do that. That doesn't mean we're going to make it maybe to a higher caliber without the machine behind us, but we have more control. We're able to control the narrative, etc. But when you started out in music, why you left it was because of a lack of authenticity.
Exactly.
Tell me, everyone, what they wanted you to do that just didn't why was it not feeling authentic to you?
Well, styles, preferences change, trends change, right? So at the time when I'd been out singing professionally for about 5 years, and I sang singer-songwriter music, some country stuff. I mean, we sang rock and roll. Honestly, wherever we were, we would sing songs that fit the area that we were in. But my heart, I was fine singing country's type music. This was more, I don't know, I say more pop country. It was what they were calling it at the time. I have no idea what they call it now. But
I believe.
Well,
I put some of it out myself.
There was some female artists that were rising up, and one at the time was very popular. She was very country in that the style of writing she was doing was talking about hunting and riding ATVs.
Who was it?
It was Gretchen Wilson. Yeah. And she's wonderful. I mean, her music was great. It's authentic to her. But if I started singing, this is basically what they said. Could you just be more like her? And I didn't grow up, I'm not saying she grew up on a farm, but I didn't grow up on a farm. I've never ridden an ATV because my daddy didn't want me to. I've never hunted. Look at me. I'm not a hunter of animals. Okay? And
I
it
write
just
about magic houses.
I write about magic stuff. Anyway,
and they wanted you to sing
They
about
did.
ATVs and hunting.
and actually write music like that and get up there and perform and maybe even dress like that. And what was her, was Redneck Woman?
Redneck woman, yeah.
Right, okay.
Here for the party.
And-
Baby on my hip.
Thank you. Right? So I'm going to get up on stage and sing about being a redneck woman. You think they're going to buy that? It's not real. It didn't feel authentic to me. I mean, it was a really hard thing for me because I loved singing and I felt like, what am I going to do in my life now? I mean, I've been doing this. This was my dream.
And imagine being told, we'll help you if you won't be you.
Thank you.
That's what they were saying.
Right, exactly. And even at the time, I was really young. And even looking back, I thought, God, I said no. I said no.
Which is
I don't want to do that.
very powerful.
And it was a really down moment for me because I actually didn't know what to do. So flip side, I could have said yes and stayed in the business, maybe gotten a deal. How long would it have lasted? I wouldn't have even been me. And when you're not being you, you don't feel good. It's not, you maybe don't even know you don't feel good, but I was aware of that. So yeah, and I don't want to be somebody that I'm not, even though I've spent many years beating myself up for being who I am. I didn't want to do that at the time with my music, and I wouldn't want to do it with my books. It's not that different. You know, it's often in the publishing industry, or I should say sometimes, they'll say, well, let's write to the market. Mm-hmm. This is what's selling right now. What if you want to write that? And I just say no. And honestly, people hadn't asked me that ever. They ask other people I know, and they're like, what would you do? And I say, I'd say no. That's not what I write. I don't care what the market's buying right now. I don't care. I know people need all kinds of art, all kinds of music, all kinds of books. Somebody needs mine. I need mine.
Yeah.
I'm writing it for me to start with. I'm doing it for my own heart and soul. Someone else is going to resonate with it and pick it up just like I do with other books.
And I think that's the most, that right there, there's the sound bite, because that's the most important part. This show is, as we say all the time, I'm not trying to convince people to become professional writers. Mm-hmm. If that happens as a byproduct, that's amazing. I'm trying to convince people to write, period, for yourself. Yeah. And I had to teach myself this through the last album I put out. I remember riding in the car one day, and some 90s country and some Texas country came on. I was like, man, I love this so much. And then I thought, I love this so much, and I've never recorded this kind of music. Mm. And then, so we did. I put out a kind of a Texas swing record because I love it and I grew up on it. And I was finally like, oh my God, I'm making a decision for me. And I don't even care if anyone listens to it. I'm not making a lot of money off it right now, but I'm real happy about it. So, point being, I think intention is everything. And if you start writing for you, mm-hmm. whatever that means, in your journal, we have a lot of truck drivers that listen. Write about what you're seeing out the windows, the people you're meeting at the truck stops on the road, whatever it is. And I think you'll find a version of yourself that you didn't know existed. Yeah. And writing is a portal. Mm-hmm. Writing is a portal. So let's shift and talk about that. If writing is a portal, which your stories, you talk about how stories are portals, mm-hmm. into whatever land you want to go. How can somebody who's not a professional writer, maybe who's never written before, less advice and more in your scenario, when you start writing, what is your mindset to go into that portal, to be transitioned to another place?
So I would say it's slightly different from when I'm starting a book.
Okay.
Right? Because when I'm starting to write a book, I have at that point created a long summary, so I know where I'm going for the most part. But I am still open to what the story may become. But I do a lot of journal writing. I do a lot of free writing. So if it were someone who just wants to, I don't know, pick up writing, just get some thoughts down.
Yeah.
I love the idea because I write almost every morning. And just free write, whatever is coming out. I feel like when you're just writing and you're not overthinking it, because people can start trying to write a book and overthink it immediately. If you're just letting the channel open, we're going to lift it up so the water can come through and let it flow. I just love the idea that people will start writing things that they didn't even know were in there. Thoughts that might be in there, feelings. It doesn't matter what it is. The artist's way. She teaches you this. Just mm-hmm. write and don't overthink it. When I was growing up, I guess I was still growing up in college, but in one of my classes they called it like lightning something. And we would just write for 5 minutes. So just they're like, scribble anything down on the paper and then stop and then put it aside. And then they wanted you to go read it the next day. What did you write? What does it even say? Like it's freeing in a way because we're not judging it. We don't have to critique it anyway. So if I were going to tell someone just they wanted to start, just pick up a journal and just write the thoughts that, what moves them? What do they see around them? What do they hear? What do they see? It doesn't have to be deep thoughts all the time. It can be you sitting in a coffee shop, just writing down the things that you see. And then it starts to open up parts of your brain that you've actually closed off very often because we, a lot of times, second guess what we're about to say. We overthink a lot about things. And we're not very free to be creative. We kind of block it very often. And writing like that and getting used to it and practicing just writing whatever, it opens up more and more things will come to you. So when it comes to writing a book, creativity just flows for me. I do get in that zone, like athletes will tell you they get in the flow. Other people will say that. It's when you lose time with whatever you're doing. It's not just creativity. I think everyone is creative no matter what they're doing. It doesn't have to be an art, like we're calling it the humanities. It can be building a house, and you'll get in that state. So when I write, that's how I write because I'm not thinking or caring in a way about what I'm writing. Because in a book, I can change, I can edit and revise. Otherwise, I feel like you get stalled out or you don't ever start.
So I call it flow writing, same thing.
Yeah.
For me, it's funny how little words change. Like you're free,
Whatever, yeah.
flow. Everybody has a word for. When I hear flow, I don't know. It just triggers my brain in a different way personally. And I think I've been saying a lot lately. I don't have any memories from a lot of childhood memories, which is obviously not true, but that's been sort of this narrative I've been telling. So lately I've been sitting down. I'm like, well, let's work with that. If I think that's the case, let's unpack that. And so I've started to write down, just sit down and be like, okay, what's one memory? I remember this girl, something she did to me in 5th grade. So let's start writing about that. And then I take that scenario and then I just start, and I'm like, oh, I remember a lot.
Yeah.
And I'll have like 10 pages just on that. So I don't know. I've thought that's sort of been an interesting piece. And my question to you, this is actually going to be my advice. I've never written a book, but I know I have them in me. I think everyone does. Not that they're all good, but I still have it in me. I was like, I've never written fiction, although I've written songs. So I have written fiction, I guess.
It's just a short story.
Is that to you? I've written a lot of, personal book I'm working on now would be more like my story, autobiographical. But I'm like, wow, what if I took my story and made it fiction? Would that be a way to leap into the fiction world? Like, make me the character in my mind and then just make her on 11. Is that a way to transition into fiction if you've never written fiction?
It is definitely a way. It could be inspired by real life events. You see those all the time.
I can hide a lot of stuff in it and be like, that didn't really happen.
No.
Even if it did.
Exactly. They don't know it's fiction. I mean, everybody's telling their own story about life anyway.
Right.
My story is different from yours. You could say mine's fiction. You know what I mean? Like, everybody is full of stories. And I think you can write your own story if that feels like a comfortable way to get in. It doesn't have to be exactly. I mean, the truth is, our lives, when you're looking at your own story, often we think our stories are kind of boring. We think some stuff has happened, but it's not that interesting. Who would want to read my story? But if you started telling me your story, I know that I'm going to tell you, whoa, now that right there, there's a lot of stuff in that. That's already its own story. You being on the road as a musician is a huge story.
Yeah.
And you can change some of the details. You probably are going to end up changing more than you think you would. Maybe you want to change it to what you wish would have happened. That's a fiction story.
And I love that. That goes back to remember that time. And I love that you just said, if we write something, we share something, and someone goes, whoa, that stops us in our own tracks of what we think is mundane. Like, for example, shout out to my dad. God, love him, God bless him. But he has said for a long time, he goes, I don't have any memories of you before you're 18 years old. And he thinks that's real funny. So I shared that all the time. And I said it out loud one day, and a friend goes to me, that's actually really hurtful. You know that, right? And I was like, is it? Oh gosh. She was like, do you need my therapist's number? But even that's sort of joking, but sort of not. It's like, how many things do we just assume is okay or normal or not normal until we share it and someone's like,
Right. Well,
Let's unpack that.
It's your regular stuff. Doesn't feel that interesting. Doesn't feel abnormal. But right, you start talking about it, and they're like, "That is crazy," and you're like, "Oh, it is crazy."
It is.
Or it is really interesting. I mean, I hear when people say, "Well, I haven't really done anything," and then they start telling you all the things they're doing. I'm like, "Yeah, but I've never done that. That's fascinating to
Right.
me. I've never, whatever that might be. I mean, I've never been to the moon. That's fascinating."
Remember
Or,
that time we went to the moon?
Remember that time we went to the moon?
That was fun.
Yeah, we slept sideways.
That was weird.
But just there's so many things about other people's lives that we have never experienced that are not mundane to us. I mean, I've never taught high school English. So as an English teacher, maybe she might say, "Well, I just teach high school English." I'm like, "What is that like?
Right.
What is that world like?" Because that's not my experience. So I think, yeah, for sure, you can write about your own experiences. I think that if you were going to write about your own personal life, I think fiction's a fun way to start.
I love that. You know what comes to mind is Elizabeth Gilbert with Eat, Pray, Love.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a good example
I
of
love
that,
that book.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Of her story, and that really set her into the rest of her career.
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting take on it. So, with all that being said, if we don't, I usually ask people what's heavy on you right now, and I'm not going to ask that way. I'm going to ask it in a different way to you through the lens of writing. Because knowing that you can choose, and you do choose to take the mundane and make it magical. What about the real stuff? So let's say in your journals and in your life when you are going through something hard, is there anything that's off limits to you to write down? Like if you start writing about something difficult going on in your life, do you feel like that's harping on it, or do you use it as a tool to write it and work it out?
I definitely have experiences that challenge me, and that's the point for me because I'm always wanting to elevate to something more than where I am right now. I just ask questions in my journal. So, why does that hurt my feelings?
And do you write the question,
And
and then
then I
answer?
answer it. Why did that make me so mad? Because I'm curious. I've learned to be curious about the things that make me uncomfortable. Why did what Lindsay say make me feel bad? That might be what I put in there. You've never said anything to make me feel bad, but just as an example is that I'm making it a question because I want to know what about that situation did I not like? What made me uncomfortable? What's bothering me? What's keeping me up at night? Why is this thing keeping me up at night? And then I have found that I can work my way to the answer by writing when I'm quiet, when my logical brain has like, could you please just sit in the passenger seat for a second? And then I start writing out the answer, it will come to me. And it's so gentle, it's so understandable, and as long as I'm not judging myself for being angry, because what people will often wonder is like, I never get mad, I probably never cry, I cry every day, I probably never get upset, but all those things, I experience a huge amount of emotions, but I don't like all of them. And so rather than shoving the ones that I don't like off to the side, I want to get to figure out why is that bothering me? Why did that trigger me? And so I'll fill my journal with that. So really it's more of questions.
Who are you asking? When you write down in your journal, you're asking you?
I'm asking me. Because once I quiet my mind and once I really get still, the answers are always in me. They're already in me. All the answers I need for anything I need to move through this life, they're in me. Even if that meant you need to go ask Lindsay for help. I mean, that could be the answer. It could be somebody. I'm not saying I'm a one-woman show here and I can make it through this world on my own because I can't. But the answers I need, I already have. I just don't always know how to get to them. And sometimes things are in my way. So if I'm quiet and I ask myself the question, they'll come to me.
Let's get existential then. Existential. That's hard to say.
It is
Especially
hard
for a
to
girl
say.
who
I'm
had a
not sure
lisp.
how to spell it.
Existential.
Yeah.
I know. When you say, I say, who are you asking when you ask that question? And you say, me. Who are you? And I don't mean I'm Jennifer, I'm from Georgia. But I mean, like, who is you? Who am I to you? Who are we all?
Well, not to get into anything we all have different words for it, but I'm a child of God. I'm a child of light. I'm a child of love. I'm all of that. So really, we're all connected. Even if you don't want to be connected with someone, we're all connected by the same light.
Yeah.
And we're all a piece of that light. So that's who I am. So right now, I'm Jennifer having the experience in this body, but I'm still a piece of the light, which is something much greater and bigger than me alone. So whatever you want to believe in, people call it the universe. People call it God. People call it, because some of those words are triggering for people.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And depending on what their personal experience is with each of those words. But for me, they're all the same. Does that make sense?
It makes very much sense. And I was listening to something the other day saying because I believe you and I are on the same page about that. And they said the idea, well, if God, love, universe, creator, whatever, is all that is, that means everything. That I am all that is. You are all that is. This table is all that is. Nothing cannot be all that is when it is all that is.
Exactly. It's
right?
true. It's a little bit stretches your brain, but when you're kind of just sitting here and just soaking it in, it makes sense. I mean, everything.
For sure.
Everything is. There's nothing that it's not.
I think it'd be neat, and here's a little trick for anyone listening. Whether you believe in God, you don't believe in God, use whatever word, wherever you are, it might be interesting to sit down and ask that question. What is God to me? What is the universe? Who am I? Ask that question. And get real and then get out of the way and flow right there. I mean, if you've never written before, let's just go big or go home right out of the gate.
Yeah,
let's see what comes out.
Well, they say one of the biggest spiritual questions people start with, and they don't even realize they've started, is when they start asking, "Who am I? Who am I?"
And they think in the beginning that's
why am I here? What am I doing?
Yeah, what do I want to do for my career?
Exactly. Those are just outside. Those are your experiences that you're having. What about my career? What about my job? What about my family? What am I going to ever find true love? All these wonderful questions. But really, they find that when people start with, who am I? That starts them on a different trajectory, because then they start being really curious about, what does that mean? Who am I? Really, who am I? Like what you just asked me. Fortunately, I've already been talking to myself about that question, so it doesn't stump me, but it's really cool to think about.
Who am I?
Yeah.
So I also want to go back, because you said, I'm not just a one-woman show. I'm gonna disagree.
Oh, okay.
With you, because we're gonna stay a little existential here for a minute. There's a woman. Do you know who Dolores Cannon is?
Yeah. Of course I do.
Speaking of out there, but I
so much love for her.
So much love for Dolores Cannon, who is no longer on this plane, on this earth, but she talks. And still does, because of social media, she still talks to us.
Yeah.
About the idea that, this goes back to writing, that we are the star in this show. This is a play. This is all a play. I'm the star in it. I'm also the director, the script writer, the editor, all the things. And I'm constantly change. I can change the at any time. And everyone. So you guys, Zach and Seamus here in the room with us, and you are supporting characters in my show. But everyone else, people at the grocery store, those are extras. Now, whether you believe this is true or not, whatever. If you walk through the world believing this, which I do now, it's a really fun way to walk through the world. And not in a it's all about me kind of way.
No.
But in a good way. It's like
it can be fun. It can be really fun. I mean, I got up this morning and I thought, today, I didn't thought it, I said it out loud. Today is going to be magical. And I thought, what? And I did this a couple weeks ago. This is why I'm doing this in the mornings. I'm like, what if I got up this morning and every morning and said, what if the whole world is actually magical? What would I act like? And I don't mean like I've got superpowers coming out of my hands. I just mean that there's something so fun about that everything around you is alive, everything is connected, and how you are the master of your ship, you're the director of your play, whatever it is. Like you are moving all the pieces and the parts and living the day exactly like you choose. Every single day you're getting up and you're picking whether you picked garbage or whether you picked magic. And also when you know you're responsible for that, I feel like it can change what you decide to do with your day as well.
Totally. Puts the power back in our hands.
It does.
So many people, and this is probably the biggest downside of social media, is that so many people, and I am, fall victim to this all the time, to watch somebody else or hear somebody else and say like, oh, you and Jennifer, you and your husband, you guys get to go to Disney World, and you go to Hawaii, do all these things. That's cool, but I couldn't do that. I don't say that out loud, luckily, but I do think that. I think we all think that, and we see other people's lives. And I mean, luckily, I've been good to get my feed curated with only things that inspire me.
Yeah.
So that was a big shift.
Good.
But then I realized, oh, now I'm watching other people do the things I want. So now let's take this a step further and let those become me. Play the, oh, remember when I went with you to Hawaii, take it to the next step. And that's putting so much power back in our hands. I think that's important. And if we want to bring that all back to writing, if you believe that you are the steerer of your ship, then let's start writing our story. Write it down. Let's start at the very beginning. So you've been an author for years now. You were senior editor at HarperCollins. You've seen so many other people's works. Let's go back to music.
Okay.
And to writing. Because you asked me the other day, we've kind of been talking about toying with the idea of getting together, trying to songwrite. So knowing you have both worlds, did you songwrite back then? Okay, you did. So I think this would be really, I think it's going to be an interesting experience, thank you, when we step in and do it, because I'm like, do we start from how I songwrite, or do we start from how you book write, or do we start from how we journal write?
Right.
And I think this can go back to that same thing. Let's just get in a room with no expectations, only good intentions, and see what comes out on the paper.
Yeah.
So if you were to start sitting down and writing a song right now, where would you even start?
I think you said something to me that made sense to me. Not because it's probably been every bit of 15 years since I have done any songwriting. I think it would be the feeling that we come in with, or if there's something we're thinking about specifically, like let's write about, honestly, I don't know. I think I'd be so open to you saying, I have this fun idea. Does this sound interesting? And then I literally have no idea. How it used to happen for me is I would end up just writing lyrics, and then I would sit down with one of my bandmates, and because I could hum a melody sometimes, but sometimes I wouldn't have a melody, and I'd say, here's what I'm coming up with, and they'd start playing a guitar lick, and then it would just grow from there. So I'm really open, because I have zero expectations. We could write about an emotion. We could sit here and think about what's coming in. I'm very visual in my mind. So it could
Clearly.
be like, what are you seeing right now when you're sitting here? If you're just thinking about like what images are coming into your mind? Is it a story? Is it something we want to write about? Is it story driven? Is it just one fun moment driven? I don't know. Honestly, I'm excited because I have zero idea how to start it. But I would lean into you having more experience and doing it more recently, saying, this is kind of how I like to start. Let's see if this works for you.
Great.
Too.
I love where I get to take the lead.
Thank you. See? I mean, I'm just like, I'm easy peasy with that because I don't know that I won't like it.
Well, and here's the thing. It's the power of collaboration. And you which you are doing a collab with Nashville authors right now. But that's the cool thing that maybe a lot of authors don't get to do a lot, because when you sit down and write a book, it's usually by yourself,
it's
outside
solitary.
of editors telling you, that's great, change it all. But that's the power of collaboration. And I've more times than I can count on all of my hands gone into a room thinking we're going to write about one thing, and we'll even be halfway through a song and somebody says, like, for instance, I have a song called Smoke, and jokingly, I was writing with a girlfriend, and then her husband walked in. He's a bass player, so he kind of got in on it. And then another friend was in town, and he walked in, and he got in on it. It started out she and I joking about, or just talking about hot firefighters. So there was a fire station down the street from her, and we'd see the firemen walking in and out, and we were like, oh my God, they're so hot. And then we're like, let's write a song about firefighters and like woman, whatever. And then it was either her husband or our friend in town, both men, and someone was like, well, what if that woman sets her house on fire on purpose so that the firefighter will come over? And we're like, woo! And then the song went to this whole different place. So we're like, we wouldn't have gone there. So it's just that's to me the power of co-creating.
Yeah.
I think it's so important. I know a lot of writers are like, well, I don't write with anyone. I'm like, that's a flaw, I think, or not a flaw. You're just missing out on opening up the expression, I guess.
I agree. I think when you bring more than, it can be challenging to write with a partner or more than one person. This I do know.
For sure.
But if you find the right people to write with, it really, things and have a turns of phrase, or you have music in your head that I don't have. And bringing that together, I think, is really fun and interesting and very expansive. But if you only wanted to write solitary, I still think you could do those too. And I think collaboration, I mostly write solitary.
Sure.
But the collaborations they stretch me and challenge me and teach me how to work better with people. And not that I'm not kind, but it makes me kinder. because
Very
it's very important to be respectful and honor everybody's creative spirit, because it's different from yours, and how they see the world and how they see things is different. And so I love that part of it.
You know what I love about you? You are very kind, but you're kind with boundaries.
Yes.
You're not a person that gets walked up. Like, you're like,
It's taken
you want me to meet you at 9 p.m.? Why do you hate me? No, go screw yourself.
right.
You've got boundaries, and I like that about you. So back to collaboration. Before you read, you're going to read a passage for us. But you're working on a really cool collab right now with 3 other women in town. I don't know how much you can say about it yet.
Yeah.
So you've brought me into this kind of group of Nashville authors and female writers in general. I'm so grateful to meet this whole other world that is different from mine. And I'm going to bring you into the songwriter world. Talk about what you and the group called Nashville Authors, you can find them on Instagram, what you guys are working on now, because I think this is fascinating.
So we can talk a little bit about it.
Okay.
We are in negotiations, so we can't talk a bunch about it, but enough that there are 4 of us total, including me. It's a straight to audio. So this is something we wanted to try. None of us have ever done this before. Normally we write books, and then you get a deal, and then the publisher will put it into ebook, audiobook, and then the print form. So what we wanted to do, because this is a thing because of the rise of audiobooks and audio platforms, even like Spotify, Audible, they actually will give deals for audiobooks only. And then it can sometimes work in reverse. Let's say you put out an audiobook and it's massively listened to, people buy thousands and thousands of copies. You can often have a publisher print, say, hey, we want to put your book in print. But for right now, this is only, we're focusing on the audio, and it's been really, honestly, it was really fun. We rented a cabin for a weekend last year. Well, I'm not sure when people will listen to this, but whatever year, but almost a year ago from now. And we just sat down and brainstormed. So the story is told from 4 points of view, and each writer, each author, sees the story that's happening over the span of a weekend in the way that they would see the world. So I'm magical realism, you know how I'm going to see it. There's a thriller writer, there is a dark academia, and there's romance. So the story is told through all their points of view, and it continues to move, right? So, I mean, it's the same happenings, and, you know, you see an open door, you're a thriller writer, you think someone's broken into the house. I see an open door, and I think it's a sign. It's just, it's fun. So the characters in the story aren't us, but they're versions of what we could be if we were a character in this story. It's really fun.
It's so fun.
And it's been really easy to write. I mean, the other authors, they're amazing. I mean, they're incredible writers. But it's also been so, like, challenging, but not in a bad way, to work with a team. We're writing one singular story.
And do you know what, is it like you write one chapter and she writes the next?
Yes.
But you
but
don't.
It's seamless.
You
do know. Each character's telling it. Like, it would be Lindsay's chapter 1, Jennifer's chapter 2.
So have you read their chapters?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. We're not doing it blind.
Okay.
We actually have an outline. But it's still the point of view is this is happening to all 4 characters at the same time, but you're telling it from your perspective. So it is really interesting. So when you get to chapter 2, you know, it flows, everything's still happening, but now it's my point of view and how I see it. And
fascinating. Does it have a name yet?
No.
No, okay. I referenced it, one of my very dear friends, we've been friends since college, so for a very long time, 30 years or something, almost 30 years. But I was telling her about this concept, and I said, you know what made me think of, because I always listened to her talk about our college. We lived together in college. We lived together in LA. She's a total introvert and quieter, and I'm not.
Right.
And she talks about, like, how I would take her to party. All these things that I remember it so differently because we come from different points of view. And because of what y'all are working on, I said to her, wouldn't it be cool if you and I wrote something together where it's your perspective of our relationship and my perspective of it, because they are
different.
So different. I think they're more different than she does. She's like, she also tells me I'm wrong and what I remember. But I just think that's like a fun exercise to, or like with my husband, he and I have very different memories of how things went, or perspectives of how it went, you know?
But it is, your memories are different because you're bringing your own. It's like your frame of reference, your lens of the world is different. It took me many, many years to realize, I've got 3 siblings, that we all see our parents differently. Our experience with our parents is different. And that sounds silly, but it took me a long time to realize that, because each child was parented different, because each child is different.
Right.
And so our memories of the way things were and the way things happened, a lot of them are very aligned. But there are some that it took me a minute to be like, oh, that's not what she experienced.
Wow.
How could she have? So, but it also, again, my compassion expands. So I'm like, well, wow, okay, it's different. And it makes me more careful about the way I talk about things,
I think that's interesting too. Have you, or will you? I know you haven't. So will you ever write your story, your autobiography? Do you think?
I don't think so. I think there's enough of my life and my soul in all
Okay.
of my books that it's always there.
Because it's interesting. I've had several people on the show who have written their own story, and it's for sure in songwriting. It's interesting
Yeah.
what we have to remember, in my opinion, is that when we tell our story, we're also telling other people's story, but from our perspective.
Yeah.
And so it's a balance there of, if I'm going to write a song about my marriage, which I have before, I got to be careful. Not be careful, but it's like, this is...
Understanding that
Yeah.
it's your version of whatever that is.
It's tricky, but and back to your word compassion, no matter what we write, no matter what we experience, I think that's what will change the world, is when we realize, I believe everyone's doing the best they can with the information they have and for what they think, is their story.
Exactly.
Now, remember, you can change that story.
You can. And it's the story they've been telling for years as well.
Yeah.
Like, just understanding that the more you tell the same story, the more you believe the story, and the more you feel the story in your body on repeat, which is why I'm also very cautious and careful about the stories that I want to tell.
Stop saying bad stuff happens to you.
And stop talking about bad stories that happened to you in the past, unless you're putting a cool spin on it. Like, you know what, that happened so that I could get here today and be the person that I am. But, the more I talk about, the more I become.
I heard once, I think it was said, worry is like asking God for more things to worry about.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, it is.
Worry is like praying for bad things to happen, I think is what it was. That hit me. And I'm working on that every day.
I feel like everybody can understand that and experience like.
All right, so I asked you, I sent you the text last night at 8:30, and I'm like, she's already asleep. She's already in bed.
Out of there.
I knew. I'm like, this is how prepared I am. I was like, oh, by the way, can you just comb through everything you've ever written your entire life and come up with...
I was just like,
yeah,
boop.
Sorry. Since it's a show about the healing power of writing, obviously we'll promoting, and we'll put a link to down below. You can go to Jennifer Moorman, MOORMAN.com to find all her works. More works coming out this summer. A children's book, which Freya and I are going to write a little piece to support. Also, a book that comes out, a book about the moon and a magical, mystical place in Georgia. It comes out on my anniversary, by the way. I love the moon, and I love my anniversary.
I mean, the cover, I know they can't see it, but there's a giant full moon on the wall in this beautiful, magical studio.
Do you want to do a photo shoot here?
We should. It looks a lot like the cover.
I love that. And also a writer for the Strawberry Shortcake series, which we talked about, which is talk about magical.
Talk about childhood dreams.
That's cool. You can be whoever you want through that, as long as it fits the brand. Let's read what you came up with. And tell me why. I know you say you kind of said eeny, meeny, miny, mo, but why is this piece healing for you?
I thought it could speak to more than just me. I don't know if you and I have maybe talked about this, but have you ever written and it comes out second person? Like you?
Most of the time.
Okay. So that's what this one was. And I thought, well, this is for me, but then it's for all of us, right? Because if we're all connected, I don't know. I really did kind of eeny, meeny, my.
And where is this? Is this something released, or is this?
No way, Jose. This is my flow journal. Is that what you call it, your flow writing?
I call flow. You're free.
And the front says, "We are all stars, stardust."
I love that. So we're getting a pic. This is a, you heard it here first, exclusive.
Only here and never anywhere else. This is my private flow journal.
Oh my gosh, I'm very honored.
But I thought it would be kind of cool to share it, just because I think it...
Dear Diary, I murdered a man last week. We're not getting that, are we? No, okay.
I don't write those down.
Smart.
I am smart enough not to write down the things that if somehow someone picked up my thing, they can't even interpret it. I may have symbols in here. It's not meant for anyone else. Okay. Does it matter how long it is?
Whatever, no.
Okay. It's not going to make a lot of sense when we start, but we're just going to go with it. Okay?
I love it. Remember, this is flow writing, guys.
Were there an ocean, I would swim to you. Were there a sky, I would fly to you. Were there a meadow, we would roll around all day and laugh and watch clouds. You, my dear, are made of star stuff. You are the glitter of the planet. You are mine and I am yours. You are smiles and tears and laughter and hope. You are not one to hold despair. You used to say you had an enormous capacity for sorrow, but you transition it easy, my dear. Look at the world as an adventure. Expect joy and love and fun elements. Expect rainbows and goodness. Expect happy ribbons threading through your sky. No one can dispel that image. Hold it in your heart and keep your eyes on it. No matter what other travelers bring to your door, no matter what other paintings they are painting, you can smile and acknowledge, but you must always keep your own image of the stars. You cannot save them. You cannot show them the way. You can only live it. You can only whisper words, offer a safe place to land, and light a way. You can love, love, love them. The end.
Or the beginning.
It's just the beginning.
Okay, my mind is blown. First of all, do you remember writing that?
I never remember what I write in here.
Right.
Which is why I kind of was like, can I read that word?
Here's why my mind is blown.
Did you write something like this?
Almost verbatim. I'm not even kidding. I'm going to have to find it. So a couple years ago, my husband, Seamus, and I were in Hawaii. He was there working. And my daughter, who was turning 1 at the time, we flew over there to meet him. Because he had a free place to stay. Great. She took her first steps while we were there. She was turning 1. But I'll never forget, I sat down one day. He was working. She was taking a nap. And I went out and I was staring at the ocean. And I opened my journal and I started flow writing. And I never looked at it again until years later, somewhat recently. And it sounded almost like that. You are the stars. It goes on forever. We are all love. It's that. And someone could say, well, that's just general. It doesn't matter. Point being, we are all connected, because if you sit down, if that's what we're all going to write when we go to that flow place, then that's who we are.
I know.
That's who we all are. Is love and expansion and infinite light.
I know. I know. I got chills. I totally agree. I think there are universal messages that we all receive all the time. And so that would be why you write something and then I write something and they're years apart and they say the same thing, because the truth of the universal messages never change.
Right. I'm going to send you my journal later. Thanks for coming to We Should Write. We should write.
Right.
Wow. It's great. So I have a song called I'm Okay that I released years ago. And I think this just confirmed it to me. I've been toying with the idea of putting out sort of this, or at least it's a very sad, instrumental piece. It's beautiful. I love it. But we have sort of I wanted it to be, I recorded another version that I said, I want it to be Police meets Cranberries.
Ooh.
I want it to be Every Breath You Take meets Zombie.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's cool, right, Zach?
That's cool.
And there's there's an instrumental place at the end, and I've been thinking of reading this journal piece over it.
Oh, cool.
Not even thinking. I did. We recorded it. I did. I've been thinking of releasing it.
Okay.
So now I'm going to. So
Okay.
you'll hear what
I
I
love
wrote when that
that.
song comes out that is very similar to this.
Love it.
Oh my
I love
gosh.
it. I guess you needed that so that you could move forward with your thing. But this is what I mean about
Signs.
just
Confirmation.
and the connections. Sometimes you already know what you should do, but then someone has to come and give you a nudge, and you're like, okay, all right.
Got it.
I
got it.
I got it.
I got it.
I see you.
I see you.
Okay.
Okay. Since there's a lot of you in your works, but as far as releasing stuff, we'll end light. This is going to be the last kind of heavy piece. What is something, or what are a couple things that I don't want to go there because it would be out of alignment, like you trying to be like Gretchen Wilson and on an ATV, hunting. What would be something that you're like, I'm not going to write about, even though I'm trying to, have a lot of people relate, but I'm not going to talk about murder or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, murder, stuff that is too dark and hard and heavy, whatever that looks like. It's not me. It's not that I haven't felt dark and heavy. I haven't had really heartbreaking, terrible experiences, because I have. It's just how I move through the world is different. And it's not how I see the world. I know I've had those moments. People aren't reading my books for that.
Okay.
and it's not like I'm writing it for them, but I am. I'm writing the love and the light and the happy, quirky, whimsical things because that's what they also need and want at the time or whatever. I think books find you exactly when you need to, just like songs do.
That was my next question.
Yeah, so none of that is ever going to be in my books. And it's not because I don't think it happens in real life. It's because why am I going to perpetuate a story that hurts me? That's just for me, though, because that's not what I'm here for. That's not my purpose. You'll never find that in my stuff.
And I was going to say, then how do you then work through it on your own? But you kind of, you said it so beautifully earlier. I asked the question, why did this hurt me? Why did losing that person, whatever. And then I love the idea of posing it as a question versus, Jennifer did this to me today. It's like, why did what Jennifer did today hurt me? And it's
really because it's always about me. We want to blame other people. We want to be a victim to what happened to us, but something's happening inside of you that's causing that reaction. And that's what I want to find out so that I can change it or fix it or address it or whatever. Heal it. Probably heal it is really what I need to do.
Heal it.
And I just think because I like writing things that are fun. They make me happy to do it. And it feels good. And it feels good to talk about my books. It feels good to go to a book club and share it. And we're all laughing and talking about magical characters and whatever. It's joyful. And that's just such an easy thing for me to do. And it's not easy for everyone to access. So it's fun for me to get to be with people and help them access that joy.
Why do people then, in your opinion, find joy? I have a guy I used to work with. He loves horror.
Yeah.
I can't watch it. But it actually brings him joy. Why do thrillers and dark stuff bring some people joy? Does it actually bring them joy in your opinion?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. We're all so different, and how we're experiencing the world is very different. He maybe relates to it. It may create an emotion in him that does feel good, even though the content feels not good to us. But because I'm not him, I don't know. I think people like to see themselves. I think people like to be freaked out. They like to be scared, or I have literally no idea. But we're all so unique that I'm like, well, I'm glad there's different kinds of books. But for me, it's just the people that are looking for the feelings that my books bring. I don't know. Horror freaks me out too bad, too. And I can't get that stuff out of my head.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, it's kind of cool if you think about it, because maybe if you talked long and deep, he might be able to get to the root of what it is about it that he really enjoys about it.
Well, and they are telling, actually, I will say, from the little horror that I know, they're some of the best storytellers, actually. You've got to really, there's also some terrible, but as is anything, there's some really interesting character development going on underneath that to be like, how did Jason Voorhees get to be who he is?
Exactly.
Why does Michael Myers want to murder everybody?
Yeah, I don't know.
Dive into that.
And it could be that he's able to watch those things and he's very detached. He's just like, this is crazy cool, it's fun, and it's exciting. I can't detach. So it could just be that. Exactly. It just could be the way he experiences it. It doesn't feel visceral.
It's not fun for someone I watch it and I'm like, why is he murdering everyone? What does she feel like now she's being murdered?
I know,
like,
it's terrible.
It's too much.
That's because it's not made for people like us to watch. Right. But I guess, there are I feel like even within my family, there's different levels of attachment to things. Like I can talk about this and not get sad, and I talk about it and I'm like bawling.
Right.
So it's just different versions. Yeah.
Well, we are almost out of time, which makes me sad, but happy because it means you and I could talk forever, of course.
We could.
Leave us with this. What does, and we've talked about it basically for the whole hour, but if you could put it in a bow tie and wrap it up here as a present at the end, what does writing do for your soul?
Oh, it heals me. It's my joy. It really is joyful. It feels joyful when I'm doing it. We use magical a lot. It really feels that way for me. It feels like it's a life force. If you could see like a light force running through me, that's what it feels like.
I see words now.
It's like a connection to me, to a greater source. And it just feels like when I'm connected into that, it runs all the way through the earth, all the way above into the heavens. That's what it feels like. So I love it. I love it. And I love that I get to share it.
I love that you get to share it. You're such a wonderful, bright light in the world, and I adore you.
I adore you. It's mutual adoration.
Thank you. We're going to write some songs together, too.
Yes. And we're going to let you lead.
I love that. I love it even more. That's great. I think words are, back to the connection. I think stories are gifts from somewhere outside of me. I still say my higher self, me in the future looking back being like, write this because we're going to do something with it later in life. And I say it a lot when we moved out here to the woods a couple of years ago, almost 5 years ago. My writing changed. Even if it's not writing that I share, I'll walk outside and be like, oh, there's a whole song in my head. That's not me, So I think back to now the show about the healing power of writing, I almost want to add the subheader that also the healing power of wonder, because that is who you are to me, and it's magical.
Thank you.
Remember that time?
Yes.
Yeah.
I do. It was amazing.
It was amazing. This has been We Should Write, a show about the healing power of writing. It's executive produced by me. Technically produced, directed by Seamus Frawley, Zach Wilson back there making it all happen, the magic happen. I'm so grateful for these guys. And Jennifer Moorman, go to Jennifer Moorman, link below.com to find out about the new books coming out this summer, The Charmed Library, the most recent book, and all the magic and wonder she has to offer to you. This one is so fun. Expect to see it on a big screen one day. Check out weshouldwrite.com, join the community, and find out more about how to get involved. Hey, Jennifer, we should write.
Right.
See y'all next time.